All right, so what I want to do is I want us to number the mistakes, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go to the chart and record the error on the chart, the correct rule, and provide another example of that type of mistake. So the first mistake we found was after stepping out of the car, the comma went there.
Yeah.
Okay, so put a number 1 for that first mistake. Then the second mistake, and we want to do it in the exact order. So then the second mistake was my teeth were fine, but my hair was not. Am I correct? Is that the second? No, we're not going to do that one. Because it's really left to the discretion of the writer. So.
And also, if I did eat blueberries, but then that makes it confusing then, right? After all,
It's
like
blueberries.
blueberries. Yeah, blueberries.
All right, that's right. The second mistake is my teeth were fine, comma, but my hair was not. So number this a number 2. Raise your hand. What is the sentence that has the third mistake in it? Yes.
This.
You have to read the whole sentence. I don't.
Oh. This guy told me that he'd be riding his motorcycle at TTHIN.
That I said was just my typo. And we're talking comma usage.
As the restaurant got closer, comma began to become
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that was the number 3 mistake. All right. And then the last comma mistake we found was what, Frankie?
like a middle school girl that I get asked on my very first date, comma, and meekly opened the front door.
Yes, and so that's number 4.
We never said
So-
what that was. Yeah.
We'll do it today. So in this, there's a total of 4 mistakes. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to the OOPS chart and we're going to plug in these mistakes. All right. So here's the chart. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the number is going to be the number of the mistake. So the first mistake was after stepping out of the car, comma. So put a number 1 underneath that first, just like I'm doing up here, so I'm going to put a number 1 here. So under correction, what we're going to do is we're going to write the correct way the sentence should be written. So you're rewriting the whole entire sentence correctly. So under correction, I'm going to write after stepping out of the car, and then comma, now obviously I can't fit it in here, so I'm not going to write the whole sentence, but you guys would have to you're going to write the entire sentence. All right? The next column we have to fill in is the rule. All right? So you have to put the exact rule. So what I said the rule was, you need comma with expander of 4 or more words. So when you take the test or whatever you want to call it, quiz on this, that's the rule you're going to have to put. That you need a comma with expander of 4. You have to have that 4 in there. Because what sometimes people are doing is they're putting a comma, say if the expander has 3 words, before the test, comma, I tried to study. You don't need a comma with 3 or 2, 4 or more. So now what you have to do is, for one other example, you have to supply an example of your own using this rule. So you have to give me a sentence that starts with an expander that's 4 or more words, and you have to write it correctly. So me, because I like to use vocab words, I'm probably going to look back at my word wall and try to find a word to help me use in my example. Anybody want to help me?
Before I scaled the mountain.
Okay, so I would put my example for me. You are not writing this because you're going to write your own. Before I scaled the mountain. Now, what do I have to make sure I put here, everybody? Okay. I built up my stamina. But you have to make sure you write the entire sentence correctly. That means you're putting a period at the end of the sentence. All right, so what I want you guys to do right now is to write your own example. All right, so the second mistake, number 2, was another comma usage. Read me that sentence again that had this. Somebody read it to me.
My teeth were fine, comma, but my
Oh, okay. All right. So we're going to put a number 2 here. And once again, you're going to write the correction, the way the sentence should be written correctly. So it should be written, my teeth were fine, comma, but my hair was not. And make sure, I noticed as I was going around the room, a lot of you were forgetting to put the period at the end of your sentence. You have to make sure when you do the correction, you write everything correctly. So the rule for this, we said, was you need a comma with compound sentence with the conjunction but. And remember, it goes before the conjunction. So go ahead and write that rule. Then what you have to do is you have to supply me with another example, girls, showing me that you can write a compound sentence with the conjunction but. So a compound sentence, you got to remember, it's when there's a sentence over here and a sentence over here, and it's combined using but and a comma. So one example I have would be, I really like pizza. All right, so that's a sentence. That's a complete sentence. It has a subject, has a predicate, comma, but it makes me queasy. I don't know, that doesn't really make sense. Queasy at now.
But I hate mushrooms.
But it makes me,
Want to throw up.
it makes me, I'll just put sick.
Makes me look
Try it again. All right, so once again, I really like pizza. That's an entire sentence. Okay, this is a comma. I have my conjunction, and then it makes me sick is my second sentence. So I'm joining two sentences together with the conjunction but, and I have to make sure I have a comma. So what I want you to do right now, as a group, I don't want you to do this separately. As a group, come up with one example of a compound sentence using the conjunction but. Feel free to use any vocab words. Go ahead and do that now. All right, so read me your example sentence that you're providing for me. Go ahead, Selena.
I wanted to go to the beach, but I didn't want to know.
All right, so I wanted to go to the beach. Now, that is a complete sentence, comma, but it wasn't warm enough, period. So this is a sentence, and this is a sentence right here, and this is a sentence, and it's joined together with a comma and the conjunction but. All right? All right, we're going to do rule number 3 now. So go to the sentence. All right, so we're going to put number 3 here, and we're going to write it correctly. As the restaurant got closer, comma, I began to become much more anxious. Period. So write that correctly. The rule for this, it's the same rule as what we previously stated with number 1. So what is the rule? So we have this comma here, but if you got to remember, this is different than rule number 2 because this right here, as the restaurant got closer, is that a complete sentence?
No.
No. So what is the rule for as the restaurant got closer, comma, I began to become much more anxious? Raise your hand. Tell me the rule for that. Go ahead.
You need a comma with 4 more words in the what's it called? Expander.
Need a comma with expander that has 4 or more words. What I want you to do in your group, when you're done, I want you to come up with one other example. Remember, in expander, we talked about the, what was it, when? We did the when expander, right? And the how expander. So you have to look at your list in your writer's notebook of those starter words. So just as a refresher, give me some how starter words.
Wait.
Frankie. As. Yes.
I was in the as with ly.
But ly, do you think that's going to give you an expander with 4 words? No. Like.
Oh.
With. Without. So why don't you try to do one that is a how expander as an example. So go ahead and do that now as a group. All right, I'm ringing the bell. Okay, Selena, give me your sample sentence for I'm going to ring the bell again. Okay, go ahead, Selena.
Without having any stamina, I couldn't scale the mountain.
Okay, without having any stamina, which is a vocab word. Excellent. Comma. I couldn't scale the mountain. Period. Very good.